This is Ralph Rayburn in Skyforce HD. We reported a story a little bit earlier about a police chase that ended down south in the Homestead area. There was a motorcycle that was involved with an incident with a police officer. They pursued that motorcycle. That motorcycle driver joined up with another motorcycle driver. There was a crash on the entrance to the turnpike. In the meantime, the second driver, the driver the police officers wanted to stop, is now leading the police on a chase that has come all the way north on the turnpike up here to just past Sunset Drive here. You can see the bicycle driver there getting off the roadway now. Joey's going to be turning, coming southbound towards us here on the feeder road that's on the east side of the turnpike here, and he's trying to elude police. We understand that there is an aviation unit that is down below us there following this motorcycle as it now leads the Miami-Dade Police Department on a chase that has now lasted probably about 8 or 9 minutes, starting down around, I'm trying to remember the addresses they were given out, like 299th Street and 157th Avenue is where the original incident occurred. But you can see the traveling at a high rate of speed here, trying to elude police officers going directly underneath us now, Joe. It's going to be going southbound. I'm going to put this address here at approximately 116th Avenue. Yeah, 116th Avenue and just a little bit north of Sunset Drive. Again, a motorcycle driver who's wanted by the police for an involvement in some kind of an assault and or battery on a police officer is being pursued now by the Miami-Dade Police Department, has turned and gone westbound now. This is westbound on, let me see if I can get an address for you going westbound here, right off of 90, I'm getting that is 95th Avenue here, or 95th Street, passing another person on a motorcycle going westbound. Let's see here, we're going to bring the camera back out and see if we have any officers in pursuit right in this area, but this is all taking place, as we said, about the last 10 or 15 minutes. This motorcycle driver was involved in some kind of altercation with a police officer down in South Dade. Fled from the police officers. They put a number of units in the area down there around 299th Street to 312th Street, along 157th Avenue to 137th Avenue. They were able to spot this motorcycle and the driver, and another motorcycle and driver joined this person on the bike here. Police officers using lights and sirens tried to get these guys to stop. One of them crashed his vehicle at the entrance to the turnpike, and as you can see now, he's trying to evade police here, now coming northbound here on the west side of the turnpike. We'll get you an address here just momentarily. Along, I see it's 81st Street and about 97th Avenue or so. Again, this all happening, as we said, I know we're getting a little redundant here, about 10 minutes ago, but police are saturating the area, trying to get the driver of this motorcycle to stop. All right, we're going to just stay with it, I guess. We're watching now as the driver, not quite the high rate of speed that he was. At one point, they estimated he was doing maybe between 90 and 95 on the turnpike when he was coming northbound. Now he's on the regular streets here, not on a highway, but he still keeps glancing over his shoulder, looking back to try to see where the police are. I'm going to bring the camera back out here a little bit and see if we could see any officers in his direct area around him. And right now, we're not seeing any as we continue to follow this, what was a police pursuit here, coming up on an intersection here. We'll get an intersection for you momentarily. Okay, I'm being told now by our pilot, Joe Mancino, that the Metro helicopter, I can see him out my left window now. He's down at about 300 feet. There's a police car right behind him. There you go. There's a police officer following the vehicle. Now we're going back eastbound here, and now you can see the speed with which the motorcycle can achieve there as we bring the camera way back out here. But he's zipping between traffic now, between lanes of traffic, as a matter of fact, here, trying to elude these Miami-Dade police officers as they continue to follow him. Let me just see what we've got right here coming up here. We've got an intersection with a stoplight. He's going to go right between the two vehicles. Yeah, he's coming up by Kendall Regional Hospital. That'll give you an idea of where we are. That'd be about 41st Street, but on the west side of the hospital. So that puts it anywhere between, let's see, about 117th, around 117th Avenue or so. So the northbound in that area here, in between vehicles, but he is being followed by the helicopter right now. So the helicopter is giving instructions. You can see police officer coming on the opposite lanes of traffic now. They're using, appears to be a single vehicle to follow this motorcycle as it goes right underneath us, Joe. Hang on here, let's see where he ends up here. Going southbound at a high rate of speed now, trying to elude the police. And we want to take a second here as we cover this live event here and remind our viewers at home that this is live television, and we don't know what's going to happen here. We don't know the situation as it's going to unfold. It is raw and unedited, and we always give that cautionary warning to our viewers.
And if you're just now joining us, you're taking a look right now. We've got 7 Skyforce over the scene of a live police chase in Homestead. As you can see, this chase has been going on for about 10 or 15 minutes here, and we're told that it's a motorcyclist. There was actually 2 motorcyclists involved. Homestead police were conducting some type of operation when this happened. There's some type of assault on a police officer. The first motorcyclist actually crashed. They do have him. The second one has been going throughout here. We're told right now it's near Kendall Regional Hospital there. And he has been going at a good rate of speed. This has been going on for about 10 or 15 minutes. Again, this motorcyclist, there was 2 of them, were wanted on some type of assault on a police officer. As you can see, it's a single car chase. Police officers chasing this motorcyclist. Again, this is happening in Homestead live. And again, it's been going on for about 15 to 20 minutes now. We do have 7 Skyforce there over the scene. Yes, Ralph.
I'll bring you up to speed here a little bit. We're not in Homestead anymore. We have moved on, and we are now in the area of Kendall Regional Hospital, 41st Street and about 117th Avenue. He's just outside the property there of the hospital now, coming around a parking lot. He has managed to elude the Miami-Dade Police Department here so far, at least on the ground. You see him now turning dangerously, cutting across traffic and turning to the west, and going westbound now here on 41st Street. So he's going to be west of the turnpike here, going in between the rows of traffic here, through an intersection here, oncoming traffic now making a right-hand turn and going westbound around 122nd Avenue, we believe here. Now I'm being told, actually, is it eastbound or northbound? Northbound now, and it is northbound here. As we said earlier, we were on another story down in Homestead, a police operation down south, when we heard a police officer say that his vehicle had just been struck and or hit by a motorcycle, and the driver of that motorcycle then refused to stop. He asked for assistance, and in the course of about 10 minutes, they had a number of police officers saturate the area down around 312th Street and 157th Avenue to 137th Avenue. They spotted this motorcycle driver and his vehicle and his motorcycle, and also spotted another motorcycle and driver. They appeared to be riding in tandem at that point, and they were efforting to get onto the turnpike, and at the entrance to the turnpike around, I want to say that it was off of 157th Avenue, the second driver fell off of his motorcycle, crashed his motorcycle. Now you can see how fast that we're going to be going here. Look at this. This has got to be in excess of 100 miles an hour right here as he's zipping along here. But in the meantime, they were able to get an aviation unit out of Tamiami Airport. Actually, it's Executive Airport now, I stand corrected. And he launched, and he got up in the air very, very quickly, and with the directions from the ground units was able to spot it. And he's down below now with a full tank of fuel, and he's just going to follow the motorcycle driver until they're able to either this guy runs out of gas, has an accident, and or police bring him in to get him to stop. Obviously, a very dangerous situation here on the streets here. Putting other people's pedestrians and civilians who are just driving around minding their own business at risk. That's the only commentary we'll make from here. But we are watching this live here on WSVN as this motorcycle pursuit continues through the streets of Miami.
And again, if you're just now joining us, we do have 7 Skyforce over the scene of a live police chase going on right now in southwest Miami-Dade. Take a look at this motorcyclist going in excessive speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, weaving through traffic. putting all kinds of drivers and pedestrians at risk. Now, again, this chase has been going on for about 15 to 20 minutes now. It actually started, as we heard Ralph tell us, in Homestead with police conducting some type of operation. This guy gave chase. There was some type of a motorcyclist hitting a police car. Two motorcyclists were involved as they were heading towards the turnpike. Ralph was telling us that one of those motorcyclists crashed at the turnpike. This one, though, however, still giving chase as police are trying to catch up to him.
Ashley, right now we're coming up, just to give you an address update now, we are, the motorcycle driver is coming up on the Tamiami Trail going northbound on one of the avenues here. I want to put this avenue probably about 137th Avenue, maybe a little bit farther west here, but he's going northbound, as you said, continues to go at a high rate of speed, looking over his shoulder, glancing over his shoulder every couple of minutes, looking back at the police officers. The police helicopter is still down below us following, giving direction to the ground units on how to intercept. They're imagine trying to come up with a plan on how to get this guy to stop. Let's see here, he's going around traffic here now. He's going to be going into an apartment complex, a shopping center. He's ducked into a shopping center here. Let's see where he ends up going here. Back behind the shopping center in an alley behind homes, single-family homes, and he might be thinking about getting ready to bail out and go on foot. Not 100% sure about that, but he is pulling into an area where you see a backyard and a fence there and a swimming pool. See if we can see where he is. It looks like he's off the motorcycle now. Yep, he's off the motorcycle. Right there, he's taking his helmet off. You can see he's wearing a gray shirt, khaki pants, khaki shorts. Police officers from Miami-Dade are saturating the area. He's appears to be trying to stash or lock up the bike, continually looking over his shoulder. Let me steady the camera here a little bit. Sorry about that. So the chase portion of involving there, he's going to go over the fence there. He's over a fence and into the backyard of a house here. A police helicopter there zooming through the shot there. So we're just going to hang on these two buildings right here. It looks like he's gone over another building. We see a dog or a cat. He's now climbed a fence, and this is going to become a foot pursuit here as he goes over a fence in a little neighborhood community here just off of the trail. He's going through the neighborhoods now. You can see on foot. Bring the camera back out here and see if we can keep up with him. He just walked over and he's in the backyard of that house right there. I believe he's hiding. Yeah, the police. You can see the police helicopter there. Now, I think he knows that he's in a bad way because police are not going to lose him from up above now. He's got his hands raised, or does he have his hand raised? No, he's just walking out to the middle of the street. I think he's thinking the better of it. He's laying down. Let's bring the camera back out and see if we have a police officer. He's complying with orders from somebody, or he's putting himself on the ground there to let the officers know that he's not a threat to anybody. There's the police officer responding out here, telling the guy to stay on the ground. He's going to pull out his handcuffs here. Going to probably check him too to make sure that he's not carrying any weapons or anything like that. And now he's on his radio telling him that the subject is in custody, giving the address to other officers so they can arrive here on the scene. So from start to finish, probably maybe less than 20 minutes or so from a chase that started down in Homestead and came all the way up the turnpike here at a very high rate of speed, and then through the streets, disregard for the traffic signals, the traffic indicators and lights and things like that, and police officers with lights and sirens trying to get him to stop. He finally bails out of off the motorcycle and is now in police custody. That's our story here in Skyforce HD. I'm Ralph Raven reporting live.
All right, if you're just now joining us, that man has now surrendered to the police. What has been about a 20-minute live chase we've been bringing you here from 7 Skyforce, which began in Homestead. It is now finished up here in Southwest Miami-Dade. The man finally parking that motorcycle, trying to flee on foot. He ran through some backyards and he jumped over some fences. Then he finally decided to just lay down in the road and surrender, putting his hands behind his back. As you can see, the police are now taking him into custody. But again, this was something that happened in Homestead involving two motorcyclists. One did crash. The other one kept going, giving a very dangerous chase there through the streets, going at excessive miles per hour, about 100 miles an hour at some point, putting pedestrians and drivers there at risk. But again, he finally did park that motorcycle and he locked it up, as we saw, and he started jumping over fences and running through yards here in residential areas. But as you can see, he finally laid down in the road. He put his hands behind his back, and the police were able to take him into custody. Fortunately, nobody was hurt in this. That is some good news in all of this. But again, a very dangerous live chase that we have been showing you throughout the streets, starting in Homestead, going through residential areas at very high speeds. And again, the police were chasing him on the ground, but also they had their police chopper in the sky to give directions to the police there on the ground so they could locate him. And now, as you see, they have him in custody, and the bike has been put in a lock. Again, he is now in that police car. Ralph?
Yeah, I have to say that the police officers at this scene appeared to be a little more affable in the takedown here. Obviously, the adrenaline is flowing when your police officers and law enforcement folks get involved with something like this, and the takedown there seemed pretty pedestrian. We did notice that on the other scene where the crash occurred, the crash that occurred at the entrance to the turnpike down south involving the other motorcycle driver, the police officers appeared to be a little bit more animated. That's just an observation on our part to what was going on. So again, we had two motorcyclists involved in what was a pursuit and/or chase involving the Miami-Dade Police Department. It started down south in South Dade. It came northbound all the way up here and ended. I want to look at the GPS here and tell you we're at 14th Street. 14th Street and 139th place is the address where these police officers are now. We got to, when we do these kind of reports up here, we're watching a monitor about 90% of the time, and when you look outside, it's kind of sometimes you're surprised at exactly where you've ended up. But this is an event that took place here. The subject that they wanted to stop has finally stopped and is in custody, in police custody right now. And as we get more information, obviously we'll get it back to you. I'm going to toss it back to you.
Yeah, and again, we're showing you live pictures of that police chase. It's been going on for about 20 minutes. As you can see, they do have that motorcyclist in custody, but for 20 minutes, so a very dangerous chase, which again began in South Dade, ending up there, as you just heard Ralph say, at 14th Street and 139th place. Again, that man going at very excessive speeds, weaving in and out of traffic, putting drivers and pedestrians in residential areas, and a lot of danger there. Fortunately, the good news is nobody was hurt in this. That man did park his motorcycle. He took off his helmet, as we all saw, locked up his motorcycle, and then jumped the fence, started running through some backyards, jumping over other fences. He tried to hide, it looked like behind a tree at one point. He finally realized he was cornered. He came out into the street. He laid down, face down, put his hands behind his back to let police officers know he was not a threat. And they were able to very safely take him into custody and put him into their car there, showing you back again the live pictures of the police. They're taking that man into custody. The other man who was on the other motorcycle, he crashed earlier. We showed you the scene there. Again, there is that man as well. He is also being arrested. Both of these men, the Homestead police were conducting some type of operation. We are told these men were wanted on some type of an assault on a police officer.
Police officers not only on the ground, but an aviation unit, a police chopper that was following, would not just doggedly following this guy. He finally just gave up, laid down on the ground, and police officers who were in the area spotted him, took him into custody without any kind of fanfare there. They are now processing the scene, and they're obviously going to have to, because it's not multi-jurisdictional, but it is, there are a bunch of different districts that are involved in this, because they put the dispatch out on a bunch of frequencies here so that everybody in the area could hear as this chase moved northbound. They actually had at one point called in the Kendall units, and they were about ready to call the Doral units to let them know that they had a chase coming northbound on the turnpike, and of course they let the Florida Highway Patrol know that that's also taking place. But it was happening at such a high rate of speed, the only vehicles that could really keep up, or only assets that could keep up, were the police helicopter and Skyforce HD, and we did, and you saw the chase unfold here live from start to finish. You saw the takedown here live, and as Ashley said, the good news here, as far as we know, there were no civilians injured. Police officers are all fine. I think the other driver of the second motorcycle that crashed down at the entrance of the turnpike might have a little bit of a road rash, but that's pretty much the wrap on the story from our end here. That's our story here in Skyforce HD. I'm going to throw it back to you guys.
All right, and again, if you're just now joining us, that is the end there of the motorcyclist police chase that we have been bringing you the last 20 minutes. This has been going on. Again, it involved two motorcyclists. One crashed near the turnpike. The second one parked the motorcycle. He fled on foot. He eventually decided to surrender.